So I think I'll introduce you in Japanese first, if that's okay. はい。今日は、スペシャルゲストスピーカーとして、rOpenSci 組織から、ヤニナ・ベリニ・サビーネ、ヤニを、はい、に、お越しいただいております。ヤニは、今、rOpenSci では、コミュニティマネージャー、と、なっていますが、とても、長いコンピューターサイエンスやデータサイエンスの経験が、お持ちの方です。アルゼンチン、出身で、コンピューターサイエンスの勉強をしてから、データサイエンスになって、大学で、教えていったそうです。で、R のコミュニティ、とても活発な方で、R、Ladies、の、組織を、はい、のリーダーと、なったり、とか、あとはカーペントリーでも活躍されています。で、確かに、when did you come to rOpenSci、with your current position?
2022.
2022、はい、2020年から、はい、rOpenSci に、はい、コミュニティマネージャーとして参加することになりました。So yeah, we are very, very happy to have you here to speak to our group, and I'm there, I think, quite curious to hear more directly from someone involved with our rOpenSci. And so, yes, we are, very excited to hear your talk. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. So I'm very, very glad to be here. So I will share my slides, and please feel free to make comments or questions during the presentation. That's okay. And I know that Joel will translate for me in case that you do the comment or the question in Japanese. So let me try to share the screen. Let me know if you're seeing my slides now.
Yep.
Okay, good. So the idea is to share with you a little bit about rOpenSci, but focus in our peer review of research software. So I understand that Joel already introduced me and what I'm doing. Before to be a community manager at rOpenSci, I was a researcher in the agricultural sector in Argentina in the National Institute of Agricultural Technology during 24 years. And part of my job was to build software for doing science, mostly using R, but also using some Python, especially for remote sensing and weather radar data. That was kind of my thing during my days as a researcher. And I'm still related with academia, being a professor in the university, Austral University. So I'm going to focus very, very much of rOpenSci around what we call the community, a community of practice. This is a formal concept named by the first time by Etienne Werner, and he defined community of practice as a group of people who share a passion for something that they know how to do and who interact regularly in order to learn how to do it better. So this is not only restricted to professional settings. I also say that my swim team is a community of practice, people who we get together to swim and to learn how to do it better. My book club, where we just get together to read and discuss books that we enjoy. And of course, rOpenSci is also a very good fit for this definition. This idea of community of practice born in when people on Xerox actually. So the thing was that the people who were the technicians to to fix the equipment, have the manuals, but sometimes the solution, they find other solution when we're practicing and when they were fixing the equipment. So the community of practice born on people getting together and sharing these tips and tricks on how to solve things that perhaps wasn't in the manual, or the manual has a more complicated solution. So this is where this concept come. And I really like this idea of no hierarchies, in the sense of you have the people who know with some topics, the expert can be one person, but for another topic, that same person can be the beginner and another person in the community can be the expert. So it is a kind of a different way to share knowledge and to learn and to teach. So how rOpenSci is a community of practice where we are a group of people whose passion is open and reproducible research for everyone and build it by everyone. So the diversity and inclusion of people in science is very important for us. And how we know how to do this is we try by project as an activity to create technical and social infrastructure. How that looks like in real life. Well, the thing that we are going to discuss in more deep today is that we create a suite of carefully vet and federate our software tool. So developers of research software send their package to our review process. And after they pass that review process, the package become part of the rOpenSci suite. So developer gets supports from our staff, from the community, and user get high quality software to do science. We also make the right data, tools, and best practices more discoverable. And one of the platforms we create and maintain for doing this is called rUniverse, that allows to publish and search more than 20,000 R packages. And one of the interesting things that the rUniverse, we create all the binaries you need, including WebAssembly. So what Joel showed on Quarto, if you have a package and you want people be able to use it with WebR, you can put it in rUniverse, and rUniverse will create those binaries and the WebAssembly also for you. We work on having a welcoming and diverse community, and we do that with tools like a code of conduct that is reinforced. So all the iterations in our spaces are going to be polite, respectful, kind, and with the goal to support and improve what you are doing. We also have a champions program and a multilingual publishing effort with the idea to reach people and community that are usually have some struggle to be part of the open science and open source movement, and to try to I can't say remove the language barrier, but try to make more easy that people who don't speak English is also part of these spaces and this movement. We also build capacity of software users and developers, fostering a sense of pride in their work with the project that I already mentioned, but also by publishing open online books, organizing community calls and co-working sessions, highlighting developers with interview, blog posts, social media campaigns, creating content for our webpage, our forum, and our newsletter. So it is a lot of really fun and I think worldwide work that we try to do at rOpenSci. And also all these activities help to promote advocacy for a culture of data sharing and reusable software, always with this goal of an open science. So I already mentioned our software peer review, and I add this statistical word because at the beginning, rOpenSci build packages. So rOpenSci started 11 years ago building R packages when create a package was a really hard task. Then when the technology evolved, the language evolved, the tools that we have to build packages evolved, people start creating their own packages and come to our rOpenSci for advice, for mentoring. But doing this one-on-one was really difficult, a lot of work, and wasn't scalable. So we create this software peer review where we put in a book and these guidelines. Everything we know and learn how to build good packages, and we also add how to do the peer review of this software. And the statistical aspect come after we did this first experience on reviewing we can call data and scientific workflow packages. So right now, we have these two streams of topics to review. We are going to see the categories more in deep in a few slides. So software peer review is a transparent process, constructive. The goal is to help the author of the package to improve the quality of their package. It's non-adversarial, and it is open. So everything is in GitHub issues. I'm going to show you one example with one of the Joel packages. So this is how a review looks like. We have this issue, and we have a bot that do a lot of automatic stuff and check for the package. And then we have a chief of editors that is rotating I don't remember exactly how many months an editor-in-chief is, but is have this role, and some other people is taking this role. And then the editor will choose at least two reviewers, and everything is here in the issue. So you can check all the conversation and all the suggestions and how the author resolved the suggestion of the reviewers. So here is all the details. And this issue will be linked to the batch that the package get when the peer review process is finished and the package is accepted and becomes part of the rOpenSci suite. So we think that we bring the best of journal peer review with the best of open source software together in this process. And again, the goal is to improve the quality of the package, so we don't have rejection in the sense of a journal paper. So if the author work with the reviewers to address all the suggestions, the package will become part of the rOpenSci suite. So this has a time to happen, but usually if the author work through at this, they will become part of rOpenSci. So how the process work? It has 3 steps. The first one is a pre-inquiry to check the scope on our 2 review streams, scientific data life cycles and statistical algorithms. If the pre-inquiry say, yes, this is in the scope, this is a package that can be peer reviewed by rOpenSci, then the peer review process starts. We check things like open source software licenses, documentation that is clear, that is complete, test coverage, usability, quality, and style of the code. And when it is accepted, we provide this batch that is linked to the review and add the package to our suite. The categories that we can peer review In the scientific data lifecycle, there is these 8 categories: data deposition, data validation and testing, workflow automation, version control, citation management, bibliometrics, scientific software wrappers, field and laboratory reproducible tools, and database software bindings. Each one of these categories are more in detail described in our book. So if you have any package that is, okay, I have a package that can be in one of these categories, you can go and check the details on our guide. And of course, you can always do the pre-inquiry issue. And the scope for the statistical algorithms are, again, 8, and are this one, Bayesian and Monte Carlo software, exploratory data analysis and summary statistics, machine learning software, regression and supervised learning, spatial software, time series software, dimensionality reduction, clustering, and unsupervised learning, and probability distribution. So if you have any package that implement models and functions related with this is also something that we can peer review. Some numbers: since the peer review start until today, we have reviewed more than 200 scientific software packages. The rOpenSci suite has close to 300 packages, but this is because the rOpenSci staff also develop packages, and those are part of the suite, even if they have not go through the peer review. We also, when the package are mature enough, we usually also send our own package to peer review, but you are going to see some more packages just because of that. This work has been done by 577 reviewers or volunteers. So this is really a community effort, and people who believe in this open software and open science movement, and put their knowledge and their effort on making the software we use better for everyone. This package has 700 unique contributors. Not all the people who contribute are the authors of the package. So we are going to talk a little bit about this more on how we try to support author and maintainers on getting people to help them with the development of the packages. And the rOpenSci suite had more than 90 million downloads of the software, which is pretty amazing and cool too. So why to participate on this? So the first and our most important goal is to improve the software quality that we use to do science. Then to have software as a genuine real research output. So we put a lot of effort on create software, and it is a research output, and we also work on make the academic system recognize this work as part of the research results. We have some agreement with journal for a fast track review. If your package was already reviewed for by rOpenSci, then there are some journals that will do a fast track for if you want to publish that package in their journals. So you are not going to have to go through another software review on those. Some of those journal, the journal of open source software, the journal of open source software education, and then we can check what others we have in our book. You are also going to become part of a community of practice of user and developers, our own research software engineers. So after your package is, already when your package is on review, you are going to be invited in our Slack and to start to be part in the spaces where people who are doing the same things you are doing are around, and you can discuss and share the same issues and concerns and questions and ideas. You start to be around with your peers, with your colleagues that come from around the world. So that also gives a lot of opportunity for collaboration and to get different point of views on a topic. So being part of this community allows innovation on tools and practices. We often discuss development and ideas that I think increase what the R community and the open source movement and open science can do. So it's pretty cool to be part of a discussion of cutting edge technology and processes. Easy software development and maintenance because you are part of a group. So probably if you have a question or an issue that you can solve, you can ask them there and someone will try to help you. And if you don't find the solution, unless people will share your pain with you because they are going to understand for what you are going through. You know, there is this say that the shared pain is half of the weight and the happiness share is double. So it's kind of what you get also in this kind of community. And then software longevity, we really try to support maintainers on looking for co-maintainers if they need at some point or they feel they can't maintain the package anymore. We create opportunity for help wanted issues that we list in our webpage. We advertise in social media and in our newsletter. So people who are interested or are user of your package, if they know you need help, we try to reach them so they can come and support the development of the software. And foster collaboration, because you are going to meet people and you are going to know them, what they are doing, and perhaps you're going to have the chance to say, hey, I'm going to work in this. If this is your topic, do you want to work with me in this? Do you want to be part of this? So some examples, I've already mentioned some of them, but I like to list. So I didn't forget, but you get some infrastructure support like rOpenSci will take care of generate the website documentation, the package documentation website. We are going to help looking for co-maintainers and contributors. We are going to highlight your work in our blog, newsletter, and social media. We do things like social media campaigns where we highlight one package a day. So we are going to take your package and let people know about it. We are going to support you if you want to write a blog explaining how to use your package. rOpenSci has a name that is recognized in their community, and we have a wider audience that we can reach and with this information. We create a space for the community, answer questions, and help to solve problems. We create a space to discuss new ideas, and it is a safe and friendly space. We can discuss things that can be tough for their community, and we can discuss there knowing that people care, and the discussions are going to be respectful, polite, and with this idea to improve the community. We have a skill ups opportunity, co-working sessions, community call, mentoring, training. We share funding opportunities, job opportunity, events, and collaboration opportunities. And we support you when you need to return a package. Sometimes a lot of things focus on the start, when the package is new, when the package is in their high hype of people using it, but at some point, software also has to be returned, and we support maintainers to do that in a proper way, so users know about this. We archive in the right way. We let the people who have dependencies know, so this is more tidy way to do it. This is the offboarding is as important as the onboarding of people and software. So, more resources. There is a lot of link here to our guidelines, to how to submit a package, other ways to contribute to rOpenSci beyond the peer review. You can send a package, but you also can become a reviewer if you have the expertise, not only in software, but in some of the topics that we have on the scope. And we always welcome people who want to write a blog post for rOpenSci, become a host for a co-working session, or being a speaker in a community call. Everything of those topics are also openly discussed in our GitHub. So you say, hey, Shani, I would like to have a community call on this or a co-working session on this. We're going to try to find the people and organize that space. There are my contact info in case you want to follow up the conversation after this event. And now I'm going to be more than happy to chat and answer questions. Let me stop sharing the screen if I find my Zoom controls.
Thank you very much, Yani. Is it okay to share your slides with the group?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, so I'll put that link in the chat.
Yes.
And I see we have, if you didn't notice in the chat, there's one question about tests for packages on PyOpenSci. So actually, that's a question for me too, is what's the relationship between rOpenSci and PyOpenSci?
Yeah, PyOpenSci was inspired by rOpenSci, and we were very close with Leah, the executive director. Many of the starting points of rOpenSci come from our experience, our processes, and they are adapting to Python. And we even have a channel in the rOpenSci Slack that is PyOpenSci, and we discuss where the people from that PyOpenSci come and make questions and okay. But we are related and we are working together. So yeah, and we learn together. So for example, now we are trying to check how we can provide recognition for reviewers in their org ID. So trying to say if you review a package, you can have this record in your org ID, and that will help you in your academic CV. So, okay, it's for rOpenSci.
Sorry, apparently it was a typo. He was actually asking about, tests on packages in rOpenSci.
So during the peer review, what we check is the test coverage of the package, and the reviewers will suggest that you increase. We're looking for a 75% of test coverage of the code, and the reviewers will check those tests and perhaps will suggest some new or suggest how to improve your test. So we are not going to develop the test, but then we are going to have the checks in the GitHub actions for those tests pass when every time you made a change and you push those changes to your repo in GitHub. I don't know if that answered the question.
大丈夫でしょうか、つゆざきさん。この説明で。
はい、大丈夫です。
はい。私からちょっと追加しますと、あと、rUniverse はまた別にあって、で、rUniverse では多分毎回テストは自動的に実行されると思います。Right? The rUniverse, so actually, okay, so this is a question for me then. Does rOpenSci have a rUniverse for all of the packages in rOpenSci?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So every package submitted to rOpenSci will also get, whenever there's a new commit is pushed, those tests will be run on rUniverse. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So that
Let
is,
me,
but that is separate from the review process.
yes, exactly. That is separate from the review process. Let me share the link of the rOpenSci suite.
Yeah.
These are all the packages, 338 packages that are now on the rOpenSci suite.
Oh, I
For
see. Wonderful.
what the R universe is showing. So
Right.
yeah, 200 and something are peer review. Some of the other are these staff build packages. I'm very interested in knowing if these benefits that I mentioned of being part of a group of people doing the same resonate with you. What do you think about that? If there is one who say, "Hey, this is cool, this is useful for me," or you say, "Well, I don't know." I'm honestly really interested in your opinion on that.
皆さんいかがでしょうか。この rOpenSci の、なんだろう、特典というか、このいろんないいところありますよと、聞いて、ご興味はありますでしょうか。いかがでしょうか。
なんか、ジャーナルとの連携みたいなのがあるっていうところは、ちょっと興味がありますね。
So yeah, he says that he's interested in about the idea that it's linked with the journals, and I think that it could, help with publication.
Yes. So what kind of journal collaborating with rOpenSci?
Yeah, the journals. I'm looking on the guidelines to get the names, but there are two that are related with software. Is the Journal of Open Source Software. It's called JOS. I'm writing on the chat. The other one is the Journal of Open Source Software Education. That's called JOSE. But then there are two that are discipline specific that I'm trying to get the names so I can share.
I think I can help.
Okay,
I'm pretty
please.
sure one is methods in ecology and evolution,
Yes.
for sure. And I don't know if there's another one beyond that.
I think there is some in method in ecology and evolution, there is a formal agreement, but there is some others that it's more like let the editor knows that this has been going through rOpenSci, because this has been already reviewed here, probably they will not review the software. This journal is still reserved the right to check your paper and the text and decide if they accept or not, but they will not doing another review of the software. That is why we usually advise to go through the peer review first and then send to these other places, and that include CRAN and Bioconductor. We usually the peer review process help you to comply with all the requests that these other places have. So you do the work once and can take advantage of that work in several spaces.
Yeah, I found it very useful for submitting to CRAN. After it went through the review, it was like, took care of most of issues that would have shown up there. Yeah.
Yes. I will find the name of the others and I will ask on the staff and then share.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't find it now, but I will share when I have that data.
If I may make a comment, I would appreciated you pointing out the support that comes for maintaining packages and for retiring packages, because as scientists and developers, sometimes we need to move on to something else, and yet maybe a community of users has come up around this package and people depend on it. So if it just disappears, that's a problem. And so having this bigger infrastructure in place to deal with that, I think, is really important. And I actually managed a couple of packages that I sort of ended up inheriting on rOpenSci because I personally use them. I really need them, and the maintainer had moved on, and so I stepped up to continue supporting the package. So it was both out of personal interest and because I hope other people benefit from it as well.
Yeah, we is at least we have the processes and the channels to try to find people who wants to continue with this, and we have different success in that search, but at least the maintainer doesn't feel alone making those decisions. We also know that we did the effort to try to find the people who wants to continue, and if we didn't find, we retire in a yeah, tidy is the is the word that came with my mind, but it's order and it's clear, and we can always if after we archive and retire, some people come that wants to take over, we can also always do that, because it's still in the rOpenSci sphere of control when it retires. So I think that is important. It's something that sometimes we don't look at when project finish, and that is something that we also need to take care of. And many people have to move on and continue with their academic life. So that is something that happens pretty often too.
Yeah, I think maybe sustainable.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
日本語で持続可能ですね。持続可能なパッケージ開発。要するに、自分が管理しきれなくなった時にはどうすればいいのかっていう時に、このようなより広い組織があるとすごく助かります。で、私自身もその経験があります。質問は、はい、日本語でも英語でもどっちでも大丈夫なので、もし何かあればお願いします。
I'm sharing some of the book on package development and maintenance. Most of those links are on the slide.
Then I have a question. Have you noticed any trend in like the number of packages being submitted and reviewed and brought into rOpenSci over time? Is that growing, decreasing, steady?
We have a new dashboard. I need to ask if we can share because we are in the development of that.
Okay. Don't worry about it if it's
okay. We have this statistic on we have. I think that it was a peak at some point, and then we see some decrease on the number of packets sent, but now it's kind of pretty steady. So it was like kind of hype around RM packages, and then things like become more stable. And I think that we are seeing now more people who are discovering the statistical peer review and discovering that they can send this kind of package to this stream of review process. And that is, I think that is pretty cool too, that you have some people reviewing how you implement those methods too, not only the software development aspect, but also how your functions and how that implementation works. That you can't find that in any other place. I mean, CRAN will check that your package works with the rest of the R ecosystem, don't break anything, but it's not going to check if how your software is implemented inside your functions and with other aspects. So that is kind of a plus in the quality of your software if you go through this peer review. And then there is kind of another trend that is pretty common, not only in rOpenSci, but you can see that in bioPensci, in JOS, in the journals, that is about volunteer reviewers. So that is becoming more difficult, but that is something that is happening in the entire ecosystem. I think that we are still pretty good at rOpenSci on getting reviewers and people who wants to giving back and contribute and learn and not only going through the peer review as an author, but also becoming reviewers. So even when we are seeing this struggle in the ecosystem, we are still doing a very good job on that front. And I need to check this, but since I am at rOpenSci, I see that the work of the editors and reviewers and the review process is steady. It's like it's always working, and we are always welcoming several packages. Sometimes it's like there are some review on the go, and suddenly you have 4 or 5 new packages in the in a month. So because it's the process that just finished with several of the review. And I also see an increase in the peer review in Spanish, that we can do the peer review in English and Spanish. We are seeing an increase in those packages. And then you were part of the first bilingual peer review that we also did. So we did one that was in English and Spanish. So that was also pretty good to have that opportunity. So we are going to continue working on trying to increase the number of languages, but the process is takes some time, but because we need not only to have translate the infrastructure, but also have people who can conduct the edition and the review in those languages. So sometimes you need to train the people and mentoring them before you are able to say, okay, now we can review in this other language.
So eventually, if there's enough interest, doing reviews in Japanese or bilingual Japanese and English could be a possibility.
Yes, it can be a possibility. Yes, we can. We are now working with the Portuguese speaking community, but yeah, we are open to discuss that and to plan on how we can achieve that goal. Yes, of course. We have a comment on the chat about the training. So yeah, please, we all our materials are open with a license that allows to reuse. So if you find this useful as someone who wants to learn the topic, please use it. But also if you teach this topic and you find that material useful, please use it. And let us know. We are always happy to learn what aspect of the material are useful, what aspect we can improve. That is something that we also value very much. On the training, you are going to find the most updated material is around package development, because it's the training we teach in our champions program. And we also add some community management and marketing and community building around your software on that training.
Could you explain maybe a little more about the Champions program?
Yeah, sure. The program has this goal to recognize leaders in the community in different parts of the world and bring them to the program. The program lasts 1 year, and it has two different stages. The first one is training. So there is this 2 hours workshop weekly where we go through using Git and GitHub to collaboratively create software. So sometimes people already know some of the topics, but we start from scratch, from become beginners to some competent practitioners level, then how to develop R packages and things that are around community building. So how to create contribution guidelines, how to create and reinforce a code of conduct, and how to run events, for example. So some skills that are kind of beyond of a developer, a software developer. Then people choose, when people apply for the Champions Program, they propose a project they are going to work during this year. The projects are 3 types: create a new package, go through the peer review process with a package, or become a reviewer. So we also have training on how to review software. And then each champion has a mentor, one-on-one. So the mentor will support the champions on the development of this project. And in the second part, they can start working on the project from the scratch, but usually they need some of the training to be able to do the project. And in the second part, we ask they focus on developing this new package or going through the peer review as an author, as a reviewer. And we also request them to do some outreach activity with their local or regional community. So we ask them share what they learn, something during the program about rOpenSci. Their host institution can be the university or the research institute where they work, or some others community like the Carpentries of Our Ladies. So other people can take advantage of what the champions learn. And usually champions continue being part of rOpenSci after the program finished. And we have some champions that went through the peer review process and then become reviewers, some champions that have been speaker in community call or have been host of co-working session, or they have writing blog posts or create some materials. Some people become mentors for the next cohort. So the champions program for now is focusing on people who belongs to groups that are usually excluded. So we have been focusing on people who are in Latin America, Africa, some part of Asia, and people who have disabilities. We had 2 blind developers, one in each cohort, for example. So we are focusing on that. And next year, we hope we are going to pilot what we call a freemium model, because for champions, everything is for free. We even pay an stipend for them so they can have time to dedicate to the champions program. But we want to try to do this sustainable. So right now we fund this with grants from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, but we want to try to be autonomous or not depends only on grants. So we are trying to create this idea that people who wants to go through the champions program and get the training but can pay, they pay for this and help us to continue providing this support to the people who don't have the resources.
So would you say, for example, like if I have a graduate student who's developing an R package, that might be an opportunity, a way to gain training?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That sounds wonderful.
And the people who provide the training is people from the rOpenSci staff. So we have Mael, Noam, myself, and some people from the community, Mauro Lepore and Paola. So usually people are the carpentry instructors, so they are good on how they teach, and people who really knows a lot about the topic, like top level instructors. So you get a really high quality and up to date training on the topics of rOpenSci, that is package development, peer review, and open science, and build healthy and kind communities around that software you create.
I see. Yeah, that's great. And thank you for explaining about the slightly different model going forward. It sounds like, I mean, of course, increasing accessibility to underserved groups is, you know, a very high priority, as it should be, but it's also nice that you are trying to maybe make it sounds like good target even a possible wider audience. So I
Yes,
appreciate that.
yes. Yeah, it's always one of the things that I like for rOpenSci is that this idea of pilot things. So you start with this idea and start. I don't know if it's small because I'm in the champions program. I have a worldwide reach, but we have 10 champions in each group. So it's a small group of people that, because we also try that they build a group of colleagues, that the people who go through this process together, and with that we try that the champions also increase their contact network with people around the world, because your contact network is still pretty important for your development career. So being able to get to people in an international setting is important. It's going to open to you opportunities and doors, and have the chance to get information firsthand. So that is also an advantage when in your career. So, and when we pilot and learn and see what works and what don't, then we improve, and then we go to another cycle and try to reach more people and to this more wider. But we do it with careful and conscious, so everyone has a good experience and everyone wins of being part of this process, even when we are learning.
So this is what, like the third or fourth?
This is the second
Right now,
year,
second.
so we have 2 cohort. Next year we are going to launch one entirely in Spanish. So that's because that is my native language. So but we get funding to focus in Latin America. So we are going to do this, but also we are going to be working in this freemium model to also check how that works. So if I saw that you're already interested, so I will let you know when we start with that.
Please do. Yeah. Thank you.